Can I just ask you a question whilst Jeff's gone? With so many Zoom meetings coming up these days, okay, my phone has been going crazy, telling me that I'm unsecure with that Zoom can access all my files, right? So I've been more or less advised to uninstall each time I have a meeting. Is that right? To uninstall Zoom. And in other words, to to click in every single time that there's a new meeting. Because otherwise, apparently, all my files are subject to being hacked.
There was a security issue with Zoom, I don't know, a couple of months ago where they, well, it could have been actually longer than that, but yeah, it was to do with something about storing data on your computer, or I'm not 100% sure what it was, but they rectified it by just saying you have to upgrade your Zoom application on your computer.
Upgrade them.
You shouldn't have to you shouldn't have to remove Zoom and download it every time you use it.
Well, this is what I've been hearing quite constantly, even on the ABC. They were talking about this on one of the programs, because of, I suppose, the higher level of I suppose transportation of media across the networks. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
The question of whether you worry whether or not your data, you're being hacked or your data is being accessed. But that's one of the reasons I've been uninstalling the last couple of meetings. But God, it's a pain.
Yeah, that's not necessary.
Okay.
As long as you've got like the latest version of Zoom, like you're updating the application, then yeah, you shouldn't really have to be.
Okay.
Because that'd be annoying. You'd have to,
If it ever.
It gets yeah. As I said, they had a security issue a few months back, but they said to just update the application, and that fixed it. So, but yeah, they've been under a bit of fire because of the data's apparently going through to, the servers have been hosted on China, and China's China.
Yeah.
That's a security issue in itself. So, but yeah, I mean, everything's, you got to kind of think everything isn't really secure, because nothing really ever can be 100%.
Okay.
So you've just got to, I don't know, you just got to weigh up the risks, I guess.
Now, which of these buttons do I press in order for me to be on your screen? Oh God, it keeps going on me.
Yeah, why do you have a green screen?
No, I don't. I don't have a green screen. Well, I have. So, wait a minute, what's going on up here? Stop video, no. Edit profile picture. Hide self view. No, I haven't got any of that. Now
Have you got virtual background? Have you got a virtual background on at all?
No, nothing like that. Everything is exactly as it has been, apart from the fact that I uninstalled Zoom and then installed again. But anyway, don't worry about me. Go on with the meeting. I am here. I really am here.
I know, we can hear you. We just can't see you.
No.
Unless you're, I don't know, very green, very nature.
Yeah, but
are you in the trees?
Top of the screen, I've got you, I've got Jeff, and then I've got my name with green on it. So, and I tried pressing that and then I lost you completely. I haven't got stop video, I've got video open. I don't know what else to do. Never mind. Don't let me hold you.
Do you have any ideas of why she's green?
Why am I green? No, and you're recording, I can see that.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you put the links up, by the way, of the previous meetings? I don't quite know where you put your links.
If you go to the my WP Genie YouTube channel.
Okay.
that's where I'm uploading the videos. So I'll just grab the link for the channel and stick it into the chat on Zoom. And that's going into chat now.
Okay. All right.
Yep. So Zoom chat, you should see a link in there for the YouTube channel that I'm uploading the sessions. So
yeah. Can I cut and paste whilst you're on? I still don't know about this sort of thing.
yeah, just
Can I? No. Oh, here it is. Yeah.
Just copy and paste the link.
Okay, right, yeah. I've just moved things along. I'm still learning my way around some of these things.
It's all good. So today I was going to talk about, I had a request. Didn't really have anything planned today. I just was going to be a little bit more casual, but I did have a request come through a few hours ago that somebody wanted to have a chat about. So, oh, Jeff's gone. Anyway.
Okay.
So they wanted me to talk about SSL certificates and.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, that's good.
And also a bit about the General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR.
Never heard of that.
Okay, that's cool. So yeah, we might just sort of cover those things. But so yeah, so an SSL certificate. So do we have an SSL certificate on our website? Do you have one on yours, Miranda?
Well, I thought I had, insofar as at one stage I was asked about it, and I went to my host and I said, what do I do about this? And he said, oh, it's automatically there anyway. So I never bothered anymore. Do I find it in what, general or settings or something like that?
No, you won't find anything in there about it. But you do need to, so once you've installed the SSL certificate, or if it's been installed already on your server, because there's different types of SSL certificates as well. So there's just general ones that a server or your server or your host will install, which is like their auto SSL.
How do I find if I've got it? Where do I go?
Well, you'll see it in your cPanel.
Okay.
In some hosts, you'll see it in your cPanel.
Okay.
It just depends on who you're hosted with, but
yeah, that's a bit tricky with me.
Right. So it's either but you'll if you're using cPanel or Plesk, there's settings in those hosting control panels that allow you to install SSL certificates. So, but essentially, what it does is it's in its very basic format, an SSL certificate simply encrypts the interaction between the website visitor and the server.
Mm-hmm.
So any data that is shared from the visitor to the server, that's all encrypted. So under an SSL certificate, SSL stands for Secure Socket Layer. So it just puts a layer of security or encryption on any data that is sent from the website browser, like you and I, who is in a website, and the server that the website's sitting on. So things like username and passwords, we're putting in that information. So we're putting it in the front end of the browser, putting our username and password in, and then that information then obviously gets sent to the server as a request. Then the server says either, yep, you got it right, or no, you didn't. So so that information on a non-SSL certificate site, that information can be then snooped upon by nefarious actors, hackers, other people, and they can see that that transaction between the user and the server. So that's why an SSL certificate is really important these days to have. The other important thing about why you should have it is because Google is favoring an SSL certificate sites over non sites. So, and even in the browser, when you look in the browser window, let me just see if I can share my screen. So let me go, so here's an example here. If you can see my screen, you'll see that this
not secure, right?
My test site, it says not secure here. Can you see that?
Yes.
I just move these out. So that's another thing. So then it says your connection to this site is not secure. So that's the thing that Chrome, the Chrome browser actually puts in. So as a website visitor, if you see that on a site, then subconsciously you may not fully trust that website. So that's why it's really important to have an SSL certificate, because when you do, let's go to my website, you'll see a lock here in the URL bar saying connection is secure. So, and when you look at the domain level, well, it's not really doing it for that, but on this site, you've got, it's got HTTPS. The S stands for secure. But non-SSL sites will just be based on the HTTP protocol without the S.
What's the advantage then for sites not to have it? Why would they not have it under those circumstances?
Why would they not have an SSL certificate? Because it probably hasn't been installed, or because people don't know about the importance of it. Well, as you said before, you said that the host has an auto SSL, and a lot of hosts do have auto SSL. A lot of other hosts have, Let's Encrypt, which is a free open source SSL certificate, which is quite popular. But there shouldn't be a reason why a website shouldn't have it. I think every website should have an SSL certificate, because it just protects the end user. It's not so much about it protects the website. It doesn't sort of really make the website more hack proof or anything like that. It just basically helps assist with that interaction between the user and the server. That's all it really does, and just encrypts that data between the two. So you can still get hacked and all that if you don't update your plugins and have poor username and passwords and all that sort of thing. So,
but if you see not secure, and I have seen that a number of times, are you saying then that we're vulnerable on that site?
Well, you are if if it's like a membership site or some sort of site that you have to log in on, or but even when you're sending, you might be filling out a contact form, for example. That's a simple thing. So you put your name, your email, and whatever the form is up. Forms can get quite complicated. So if it's so you might be sharing a lot of your private information, your phone, your email, your address, it could even be a credit card number, but you won't be able to sort of do that on a non-secured site. So all of that stuff can be really important to you privacy-wise. So if you're doing that on a non-secured SSL, like a non-SSL site, then you're kind of leaving yourself, somebody's leaving themselves open to potentially having that information stolen from any third parties that are, that are snooping in on that interaction. So it might not happen. They might not be there, but you don't know. Like it.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, and that's why Google just put up this thing called not secure now, because it sort of it's telling people that, yeah, this site is, the site's just not it's just not secure. So yeah. So yeah, whenever you see like a form that you're filling out that has a credit card, that's asking for a credit card number, and you notice that it's not secure, I'd be very wary about that. Like I would probably not use the site. Personally, I wouldn't use it.
Yeah. Okay.
To put my credit card information in, because yeah, that can be stolen and open yourself up to all sorts of stuff that you don't necessarily need. So, but a lot of credit card stuff these days need that compliance. So yeah, they generally they wouldn't accept credit card information if you're paying via a form on a website that's not secure. But if it's just like an open contact form, or a form that people are just saying, like, put in your credit card number, like that's a massive breach of your privacy. So yeah, I'd be very wary of that. So yeah. So Jeff, do you have an SSL certificate on your website?
Yeah, all of my websites have got SSL.
Excellent.
And I'm hosting with Kinetics at the moment, and they put it on automatically. It's Let's Encrypt, but it automatically reinstates every 3 months.
Yeah, that's the nature. Yeah, that's what Let's Encrypt does. Yeah, it just reinstalls itself every 3 months, which is pretty neat. And it's free. So yeah, there are different types of so that's kind of like there's different types of SSL certificates. So, and they all do different jobs. Like there's domain verified, which I think is what Let's Encrypt is. So it looks at, if the domain, if you have ownership of the domain and all that sort of thing. And there's other types, like I think extended validation. There's an EV. There's DV, which is domain verification. EV, which is extended validation. So I'll just see if I can pull up I think PayPal has an extended validation. Kind of doesn't really sort of say it anymore. Amazon, no. Like, do you remember the days when, like, you'd go to a website and it would actually have like the green sort of bar with a lock, and it would actually be green, and it would have the name of the business in the URL? Do you remember that?
It's news to me, Paul.
Trying to, no, I don't. No, certificate. Yeah, it used to have the name of the business at the beginning of the domain. For, I mean, I saw it for PayPal. I think I saw it for Amazon. I think I saw it for other things as well. Maybe they've removed it because it's not necessary, but that sort of was an example of a extended validation certificate. So, and the difference is that they, when you go and purchase an extended validation certificate, you have to put in your business, you have to supply all your business information, and you got to send all that through as paperwork and everything like that. So it's kind of like an extra double, triple check of that you own that business and that you own that that entity. So, and then you're issued with an extended validated certificate. So I think it's a popular website called SSL Store, where you can go and buy SSL certificates from. There's all these different types of, you can get multi-domain SSLs. EV stands for extended validation. EV multi-domain, which covers multiple domains. DV stands for domain verified. I don't know what UCC stands for. Let's go have a look.
Look at the prices there too.
Yep, definitely. And there's a massive. So this one here says it doesn't have a green address bar, which is I don't know what is it UCC stand for. Unified Communications Certificate. Effective solution for securing a Microsoft Exchange or a Microsoft Office communication server. All right, so that's for Microsoft Exchange things or a server on that platform. So yeah, you may not need that, obviously. And then there's a whole bunch of different companies that offer it, like Positive. Komodo is one of the most popular or common. So, and they all just do different things. So as you can see here, Komodo EV SSL certificate. So it says domain and full business, which means you have to supply all your business information. Let me just go into that for a sec. And that does say that you get a green address bar. Which is what I think is what it was used to be in the old days, where you'd see the name of the business at the beginning of the domain name. But yeah, it looks like they've stripped that out. So, but yeah, you can also see the difference between the warranties as well. So I'm not sure if there's going to be no warranty, I don't think, for like Let's Encrypt and auto SSLs and everything like that. So, and basically what that warranty means is that, yeah, if your site is compromised, then you can, I think you can have a claim. You can have a claim against that warranty. So, so it's kind of like an insurance type sort of policy for that SSL certificate. So, and as you can see, if you get an EV standard, an EV standard SSL, you get $1.75 million warranty. So, so yeah, that's kind of the difference between those. But essentially, the important thing is that you should have it on your site. There's really kind of no excuse for not having an SSL certificate now. So, because you can buy them or you can get them for free. So, yeah, so that's kind of important. Now, I also wanted to have a chat about GDPR as well. So I'll just cover that topic. So, does everybody know what GDPR is?
Yep.
No.
Well, GDPR is it's an acronym for General Data Protection Regulation, and it's essentially something that because we're collecting data on when people come to our website, we're either tracking them with Google Analytics, or we're collecting their personal information by asking them to fill out a form. We're asking them to fill out a contact form or something like that. So they're supplying their name, their email, their phone number, whatever you're asking for. So that all of that is that's kind of private information in the eyes of privacy, I guess. So with the GDPR compliance is you need to have a set number of checks and balances to ensure that, you know, the privacy of your visitors is you know, really important. So you may have gone to websites where you'll see those, you know, cookie notification pop up saying, you know, we collect, you know, to make our website, you know, function better and, offer the service, you know, offer the functionality that we can. We run cookies on our website, you know, or we track, essentially they're saying that they're tracking you. So, and then you have to click a little checkbox or something to say, you know, I agree, or, you know, or dismiss or whatever to get rid of that. So then you're agreeing that, you know, by visiting that website, you're going to be, you agree that they're going to be taking your information, that they're going to be tracking you, they're going to be, you know, storing your personal data in some database somewhere, you know, either on the website or a third party is tracking you. So, so essentially that's what, so it really sort of stemmed out from, you know, the whole Facebook debacle, I think a couple of years ago, you know, the whole privacy thing that they went through, that, you know, they were really, I can't remember the name of the university, but they stole a whole bunch of data from Facebook, and it was a big thing. And, you know, Mark Zuckerberg had to front up to Congress and answer a whole bunch of questions and stuff like that. I don't know if you remember that, but so kind of out of that, the GDPR policy was launched, and it is mainly in Europe. It was sort of really pushed out more with the European Union and Europe and everything like that. So so there was a big wave of, you know, websites and stuff that had to become, you know, compliant with GDPR. So everyone had to update their privacy policies. Everyone had to add those pop-ups, you know, to their websites to say, you know, that we're using cookies and tracking your data and all that sort of stuff. And this is how, and this is how you can, you know, this is how you can get access to your data and ask us to, you know, even, you know, remove it, you know, from our database and stuff like that. So,
well, when that happens, because I do get a bit nervous when those pop-ups come up, are they actually saying those cookies are active whilst you are on that site, or is it also saying that even when you leave that site, they're leaving their little tracker behind?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So once you've been on, maybe say, a dodgy site, you're stuffed.
Well, you're not completely stuck. I mean, essentially when you visit a website, and how cookies work is that, particularly with, you know, the Facebook pixel, for example, you know, or even Google ads and all that stuff. And so what it does is when you go and visit a website, it just puts a cookie into your browser that states, you know, that you visited this website, and then you're essentially allowing, you know, by allowing that cookie to be installed on your browser or to sit on your browser, then you will be you go to another website, and then that data is that is tracked. So
it's all to do with retargeting.
Correct. Yeah.
You keep seeing these ads everywhere.
Yeah. So that's why when you go to a website and then you go to Facebook, then you start seeing ads from that website, you know, so because it's picking up the cookie or the little snippet of code in the website and attaching a cookie to it, and then that's how that works. And then with Google, same thing applies. You go to a website, puts a cookie in your browser, and then you go to another website like Gumtree or somewhere else, and then you'll see an ad for that particular website that you just visited. So because it's picking up that you that cookie in your browser. So you can get rid of that by just clearing out your cookies in your browser.
Mm.
So you can just remove all that.
How often should you do that? I do it from time to time, but not regularly.
Yeah, it's good to do, because it can actually even slow down your browser as well. Because if you're storing a heap of cookies and stuff in your browser, then it can slow the browser down as well. So it's good to do it on a maintenance basis. But even if if you start seeing ads that you don't want to see anymore, then you just clear the cookies out. So
They'll find you eventually, though, won't they?
yeah, I mean, if you go back to the same sites again, then they'll just inject the cookie back into your browser again. So it's
it clears a whole lot of stuff. I actually got a couple of games I play on the computer, and it tracks all my scores. Then when I clear the cookies, I'm back to scratch again. It's like starting the game all over again.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So GDPR is just simply a regulation where it's giving back power to us, the people, to basically take more care of our own privacy, like our own privacy, and how we interact with websites that collect our data and collect our information and our personal information. So how do they it's basically just knowing how they handle that data, what's actually happening, how we're being tracked. So it's just more transparency, I guess.
So if you got a privacy policy, that would cover that, would it?
Yeah.
If you got a privacy policy on your website, you'd be complying with that.
Yeah, in a way, yes, that's one part of the puzzle. One piece of the pie. You would be complying in that way. However, you'd still need a pop-up or something to say that you need you need to give consent to the website visitor that you're going to be collecting that data. So it's a consensual type sort of thing. There's some GDPR like plugins and stuff for WordPress. There's GDPR plugins that you can install that will provide that pop-up for you, and it will actually even deactivate certain things like certain JavaScript or even some certain code on the website until you press I accept on that pop-up. So things like videos that are embedded from, say, YouTube that are on the website, they may not show up until you actually click the button to say, I agree with the cookie notification or the GDPR compliance. So some functionality may be disabled on websites that are, that are there to track you. So
you got it on your websites?
I haven't really, no. So, I've got privacy policies. I got
privacy policies.
I don't know.
Everything I do too.
Sorry?
I got privacy policies and everything I do.
Yeah. At least if you've got a privacy policy, then that's really good. But if you're in the UK and if you're in the European Union and any European countries, then if you don't have the cookie consent pop up or whatever, then I believe you can get into trouble. Like they can actually come after you and fine you and all this sort of stuff. So I think if you're serving clients in in Europe on a regular basis and you're selling products to them or you're providing a service to them, then I think that is an important thing to have on your site. So even if you're here in Australia serving people in the UK, so but like all things, like it's sort of it's such a big thing to police as well. Like there's millions and millions of websites, so not everyone is compliant. So and it's not, I don't know if it's such a really big massive deal here in Australia as well, so we didn't really sort of make a big fuss about it here in Australia. It was more of a big thing for Europe at the time. So, but we have much bigger problems to deal with at the moment. So, but anyway, the important thing is that you have a privacy policy on your website stating, how you collect data, what you do with that data, how do people contact you to, remove that data or even request, the data that you're collecting on them. As long as you've kind of got that covered, then you're pretty good. So, but yeah, if you want to really be compliant, then have all your pop-ups and stuff to state that you're running cookies and collecting data and you're tracking them, and you've got all sorts of manner of things that are grabbing everyone's data. So,
if they fill in a contact form or a landing page, then they're virtually implying that they accept it anyway, aren't they? Because they're giving you that information.
Well, that's another thing as well, is that, and when the whole GDPR thing exploded, even having on your contact form, people were saying that you need to have a little checkbox to, for the person who was filling out the form to consent to their data being, stored. So, having a little checkbox under the form to say, I consent that my data will be, stored on this website or something like that. So, or in the database or somewhere. So that was another thing that needed to be added to a form for GDPR compliance. But again, a lot of that's been kind of very, relaxed, and people have just, I guess, forgotten about it or just moved on. And it was just one of those things that, was a big hoo-ha at the time, and and lots of regulation around it, and people were, lots of lawyers, and they made a lot of money out of it at the time, because it was, a good time, because everyone was like, stressing out about it. But nowadays,
I actually think a lot of laws are made for lawyers.
Yeah, well, they got to stay. They got to keep sort of reminding us why they're there, right? So, so anyway, but it's all important. Like, it is kind of important to have all that stuff. And WordPress also brought in its, there's a section in the back of the website in the dashboard now where you can export data, you can even delete data and all this sort of like user data from the site. So it made it a lot easier for you to, like if you have a user profiles on your website and people, got in contact with you and said, I want my data removed, and, I don't want to have anything to do with this website anymore, so I want all my data removed. There is a tool now in WordPress where you, that's built into core, where you can go in and just remove the data out, or remove the data really easily. So, yeah, that sort of was pretty cool. So yeah, that's a bit about SSLs and GDPR. So hopefully that helped you out. Do you have any other?
I might leave you now then, Paul, as we've done there. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Thanks for coming along, and hopefully get your video green screen sorted out.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening here. Anyway, thank you. Bye to you, and bye to you then, Jeff. Thank you.
All the best. Okay.
Bye now.
Bye.
Thanks for joining.
Mm-hmm. And another thing I just got notified yesterday and just flashed up on my screen today. Start Local is closing down.
Start Local is...
Start Local, the local directory?
Yeah, yes.
It's closing down.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you know why?
No, they just said that they were closing.
Interesting.
And I've got a client who's on several local directories, and I'm having a really hard job because he's on them. He doesn't have any login details. It was done years ago, and a lot of the information is out of date, and I have a lot of trouble trying to get in there to change anything. And unless I've got logins, they just don't want to talk to me.
Yeah, that's the thing about directories and stuff like that is people. Yeah, you go and set up all these directories, and on Yellow Pages, or even when the clients do that themselves, and it's like and then when it comes time for you to update that stuff, you ask the client, do you have the logins? And they're like, I have no idea. Like, I set that up like years ago, and I don't know. So try this whole combination of passwords and usernames, and then they all don't work, and then you're like, crap. What, particularly when like previous developers have set up, say, Google My Business for clients, and then and then they may have set it up even under their own accounts. And then it's like, so then the client comes back and says, I want to get access to my Google My Business account, and I don't know how to get access to it because I didn't set it up. My previous developer set that up for me. And and then it's like, how, is it under your username or your and it's like, no, I can't remember. So
there's one of my clients, he had a guy working for him who was doing a little bit of business on the side, and he had a Google My Business page that he didn't set up, which wasn't even claimed, and it was actually showing up on the first page of Google in a little 3-pack.
Yep.
And he had four reviews, no website. He hadn't claimed it, but it was still showing up in that little 3-pack. Anyway, when the guy left, I took over management of that Google My Business on behalf of my client. So now he's got 2 Google My Business accounts.
Wow. Okay.
So, and I'm setting up a website for him too on that other one.
Okay.
So he's going to have 2 websites and everything, all directing to the one phone number. Or he's got 2 phone numbers, but they're all coming to the one business. So I'm taking advantage of the marketing that's already happening with Google. Nobody set up, but Google was running.
Yeah, because that's what they do, don't they? They sort of scrape businesses and then they put it up, and then business owners can go and claim them. So
when you see a sign, own this business with a question mark, does that always mean that it hasn't been claimed?
Sorry, when you...
On the Google My Business, got own this business with a question mark. Always assume that if it hasn't been claimed.
Yeah, I believe that's the case.
Well, I actually come across one the other day. Guy, he's got it fully optimized, and he's got 500 Google reviews, mostly 5 stars, and he's still got own this business with a question mark.
Right.
He thinks he owns it, and he thinks it's just there in case somebody else wants to claim it. But I think probably what it is, he's gone in there and filled it all in, but he hasn't verified it.
Yeah, maybe.
That's my interpretation.
Hmm.
I don't know whether I'm right or wrong, but that's my interpretation of it. Because everyone I've claimed own this business disappears.
Yeah, so that would make sense because it's been verified and been claimed. So yeah, I would say that own that business question mark is definitely that he hasn't, the listing hasn't been verified. So, which is kind of very dangerous.
Yeah.
Because somebody could just come along and go, yep, that's me. So, and then, they can put in their address details, and then I don't know. Are they still sending out postcards and everything these days? I think they do.
They are, but it takes 3 weeks in Australia, 6 days in the States, but 3 weeks in Australia, sometimes more. But with this problem, it's taking longer.
Yeah.
A lot of the workers are in India and places like that. And I think they have to go into an office to work. And with the social distancing and isolation, they don't have they can't work from home.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's where the problem is, and they're not processing reviews because of that.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, everything's delayed. So, yes, but yeah. But anyway, I guess the point of the story is that you know, make sure that you own, you know, you write down your passwords and usernames and stuff like that for all your for everything, and make sure you have ownership to everything. So yeah,
I keep records of all passwords and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's just really important that as a business owner that you have access to everything, and that you don't give access to, you know, people like full access and stuff like that. So if you're setting up, you know, Google Analytics and you know, make sure that you own that all of that information that's sitting on your Gmail account. And that it's not, you know, sitting on somebody else's and then they've just shared that data with you, or they've just added you as a user to the profile. You just got to make sure that, yeah, you own everything. Essentially, you have access to everything.
I have access to everything, and the only people who have access to any of my websites are actually the hosting company. And
sure.
That's all. But everybody else, all my clients, give me free access. I've even got access to some of their Gmail accounts.
Oh yeah, and that's yes, that's true. So
make sure I don't do anything with them, except sort of look for the things that are necessary.
Yeah, I've been really thinking about a lot about that, and because I do ask for, you know, direct access to client stuff as well, which I guess you kind of have to. So to get access to things, and but it can definitely open you up to you know, liability and all that sort of stuff as well. I always have that sort of in the back of my mind, in the sense of, you know, I've got access to all these accounts and everything, and client information and stuff like that, and you know, all it takes is just one of those clients to have a bad day and just turn around and accuse you for doing something that, you know, you clearly may not have done, you know, intentionally or not intentionally. And then, you know, your whole world can, okay. That's why we all, you know, that's why you have insurance, I guess. Professional indemnity insurance is really important. But yeah, even when it comes to, you know, Facebook and all that stuff, I tend to don't really like having access to even people's Facebook accounts and stuff. I don't, you know, when people say, you know, here's my access to Facebook, I tend to go, no, I don't want it. I don't want that. Add me as a user or something to your, you know, your page or something. Add me as a user to your Google Analytics. Add as a user to your
user rather than admin.
Correct. Yes.
And usually you can do stuff with it, or
yeah. Well, certain levels of access. Yeah, but yeah, I know with like Google Analytics and all that, you can set the user as a person who can view the data and, you know, edit some of the things, like set up goals and everything, but it doesn't give you access to, you know, creating usernames or profiles or deleting users or anything like that. So
if I'm creating a website for somebody and I set up Google Analytics for them, I'd have to do that as an administrator anyway.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So there's certain things like you can't really get away from. You just have to log into their account. So I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. So there's a lot of trust, I guess, that really comes down from that. So just as long as you're trustworthy.
Yeah, well, I try and be.
and the client is a decent human being as well. So, but yeah. So yes, so that's. Do you have anything else you want to have a chat about?
No, everything else is pretty right. And so, you got a subject for next week?
No, not really. No, I haven't really thought of anything. Do you have any suggestions?
Not really.
I mean, I could go through stuff like, the basics of WordPress maybe, and just sort of.
I've got a guy that I'm having a bit of trouble with at the moment. I had there's a fellow called Tony Earp. I think he's from the United Kingdom, and he set up a very, very good theme that I used on this guy's website. And now the whole thing is just gone haywire because he hasn't been updating it. And the site's extremely slow. And it's a really good professional one with all sorts of colours and everything on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I started setting it up, and I've set it up mainly with just an ordinary theme and Elementor, and there's a lot of white space on it. He doesn't like the white space, but white space is what they're looking for now, isn't it? You're saying it works better with white space?
Well, just having space is good, yeah. So
everything else on the other screen, it's all dark colours and that.
Okay. Yeah, right. Well, what kind of site is it? What's the
Oh, he's a auto air conditioner guy, or auto electrical rather. He does auto air conditioning in the summer and auto electrical all through the rest of the year.
All right. So, and it's a fairly dark website.
It was a dark website. Now it's very light.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's important. So, unless you're sort of like a heavy metal rock band or something, or particularly needing a darker sort of look, then I'm sure there's certain industries that are like that. But for an air conditioning, I don't see a reason why it should be all dark. So yeah, white space is important. White.
But the combination looked really good. It looked professional and everything.
Yeah.
So,
So it's an Elementor theme, or is it a?
No. Basically, I haven't sort of got to the stage of doing full Elementor yet. I'm doing the plugin, and I'm just using a basic free theme at the moment.
All right, cool.
What I would like to do is get a few people paying me cash for websites. The trouble is, at the moment, I can pick up websites on Bartercard, but then that doesn't give me the cash to buy Elementor. If I buy the professional Elementor, then there's all sorts of templates in there I can use.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there's heaps. Definitely, yeah.
That's what I really want to get to the stage of, being able to set up with that.
On that note, on the Elementor side of things, I did. Let me just go and see if I can find it.
There is a webinar coming up with Elementor coming up with the guy telling you how to set up websites with it. That's coming up with Mike and Mike Villiers.
Is that with
Elementor?
That's the Elementor Australia group, yeah, or the Gold Coast one, yeah.
Yeah,
they've had over 200 RSVPs for that.
Yeah, and I got an email from them saying that if you can't get on, they're streaming it through Facebook as well.
Yeah, hopefully. But they also said that because it's the first 100 people that log on, because they've got the 100 they're only giving access to 100 people, so it's the first 100 people So anyway, I was just going to pop this link in the chat, and that's for, bummer. No, hang on, that's not going to work. I got that out of Messenger because there's this website called templately.com.
Templately.
Yeah, I'll just go and I'll stick this in the chat. So you can see the link in the chat on Zoom. It says it's templately.com. I can just share my screen and show you. Yeah, so this website, templately.com /all packs. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of Elementor ready templates to use. So these are the packs. So you can go to the, you know, like the magazine one, for example, and this has like, you know, a home and a details page and all that sort of stuff. So it's kind of cool. And a lot of them are free. So they've started, you know, obviously these ones here, they're new, that you pay for. So, but a lot of them have got a zero price on them. So you can just go in, sign up, and get the free templates. So
I do that.
Yeah, it's a really cool resource. So, but even, you know, Elementor's coming out with heaps. There's the Envato toolkit, the Envato, I think it's called Envato Elements plugin. That also gives you access to a whole bunch of different templates. But you are sort of bound by their terms and conditions of using those templates as well.
One of the things I've been using was a theme called Zakra, Z-A-K-R-A. It's a free theme, but it also has demo material.
What is it?
Z-A-K-R-A. And it's got demo. And basically it's a free version, and then you can use the demo websites, and they put a whole lot of information on there. And all in Latin, of course, and then you just go and replace everything.
Yeah,
that
so cool.
Sets it all up in a really great setup.
So does that install all the different pages on the site?
And it installs different pages, a whole lot of different pages, a lot of images. Cool. And what you do is you just go and replace them with what you want.
Yeah, nice.
But the setup is there.
Yeah, so it's all in the back end, all in the dashboard. So you just press a button and it will import everything.
Yeah.
Astra does that too.
They have demo stuff.
Yeah, they do. So you get the free Astra theme, and then you install the Astra Starter Themes plugin. Mm-hmm. And that does a similar thing where you can just go choose the theme from the template. They got premium themes as well, which you have to have the premium version of Astra Pro to get access to. But they do have free templates for just for the starter stuff, and then you can just press install, and it installs everything. And you can even and some of the themes have plugin requirements, Contact Form 7 or other plugins that you might need for that theme to work. So then it brings up suggestions and says, do you want to install these plugins as you go, as you're installing importing the theme, and it builds all the pages and it creates all that. It's really neat. So
yeah, that's what I like about some of these things.
Yeah. So it really makes it so much easier to just push out a website, and then you just go in and tweak the information.
Yeah.
And it's all there, and you can get away with it for free a lot of the time as well. So you don't even think you need to sometimes pay for the pro version of Elementor. So there's another theme called Cadence. Have you heard of the Cadence theme?
No.
So cadencewp.com, and they've got a free theme called the Cadence theme, and it's really good. Like, it's got a lot of, so here we go, the Cadence WordPress theme, and it's free. And it's basically got stuff like, you know, it's got header builder within the theme. So it's in the customizer. And it's got, you know, sticky header, it's got transparent header, you've got, you know, multi-navigation menus. So out of the box, this theme is pretty good. Like, it's got a lot of stuff in there that you don't really, you know, you don't need to pay for. Like, with where other themes, you would have to pay for those features.
Yeah.
So, and it's really lightweight and, you know, really good. So, particularly for the transparent header stuff, because you normally have to get a pro template or something for that. So yeah, it's out of the box. It's really good. And generally, you could probably just even get away with using the Elementor free plugin because, you know, that normally you'd have to build the header and footer in Elementor Pro, which is pretty awesome, by the way. You can actually literally build a whole site now using just Elementor Pro and a blank theme, like Hello theme. So yeah, you can build the header, the footer, you know, post templates, everything. It's just so cool. Yeah, it's really neat, the pro version of Elementor. So highly recommend to get that when you can. So
I've got a friend who asked me to look at a website for him. He's setting it up on using Astra and Elementor.
nice.
And he wants me to have a look at it and see. There's a few things he can't get going on it, so I'm going to have a look at that this afternoon.
Yeah, nice. Have you heard of the Elementor Experts platform?
Elementor Expert, no.
So if you know a bit about Elementor, then yeah, you just go to elementor.com and you go to their experts. I should probably share my screen again. Over here, I think. Yeah, go to the elementor.com website and then go to experts beta in the menu. And then this is basically an experts platform for, you know, for Elementor. So you can go in and find an expert. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of people in here that are, you know, professing to be experts with Elementor and a whole bunch of other things. So you can see Troy Dean there. He's up there. Everyone knows Troy. You can even filter it down by, you know, services. So I'll go to Elementor training and scroll down a little bit, and you might see somebody that you might know. Ooh, right there. So there I am, and there's also Mick Villa as well, who is another great Elementor expert who runs the Elementor meetup. So yeah,
I've been to those.
And then you can click on their profiles and you can go in and check, you know, what they do. So, you know, you can see their portfolio and their services and how much they charge for things. And yeah, so I think I don't know whether you need to be a pro user of Elementor to be on this. I think you might just need to have an account on Elementor. Not sure.
Yeah, no, I'll check it out anyway. Yeah, no, it's good.
But yeah, definitely check it out because it's just another directory to be on, I guess. I haven't got any work out of it. I know Mick Villa has gotten some work out of it, but you know, he's fairly well known in the space as well. So that's why he kind of is getting that stuff. But yeah, so it's all kind of interesting. Stop sharing, and yeah. So do you have any requests for next week? Do you have anything that you want me to cover?
Not really, not at the moment. But I find what you're saying is is pretty good, and maintenance was really good. Website maintenance. Do you have another one on, say, security or something like that? As distinct from maintenance, or is that all included, do you think?
Could do something on, like, say, using security plugins like Security or WordFence or iTheme security, that sort of thing. I could probably cover off on some of those things.
Yeah, I use WordFence all the time on everything. Only the free version. But I get notified if there's anything wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. I tend to, I find that sometimes those plugins can really slow down a website. I noticed, particularly with WordFence, I noticed that it really can slow down. Add on extra resources onto the website. I do notice that a lot, actually, in sites.
I get reports on the number of hacking that blocks is phenomenal.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the whole IP stuff and IP blocking and all the attempts that are continuously made on your login page. So, and it also tells you like who, the usernames that are set up on your site as admins. It kind of knows what those users are, because you can see, the attempted logins that sends those emails to you and says, this username and this, it's blocked this attempted, the attempted logins on those usernames. So all of that's really, it's good to know, but it can also be kind of a little bit disturbing as well. So, because if you're constantly being bombarded by all that, you can get freaked out a little bit, because it's kind of like seeing that there are those usernames. And but I like iTheme security personally. I think that's a really good plugin. The iThemes one, because you can even set up, I think even on the free plan, that you can set up a different URL login. So it removes the WP-admin. Basically that's just, the generic WordPress admin login URL. So all the hackers and bots and stuff are going to automatically go and try and, access the login screen from that. So, but with iTheme security, I think you could probably do it with WordFence Pro as well, but it's not in the free version. Or you could use a different plugin for it as well, but you can change the login URL. So you can change it to, that WP-admin to, something else like backdoor or login secret or something, whatever you want. And then when you go and try and access WP-admin, it actually just comes up with a page not found page. So
that's good
if you've got that enabled. So
well, that would stop a lot of it anyway, just doing that.
It would definitely, yes. So that's part of the iThemes security plugin, which I think is better, and I feel it's a lot lighter and not as resource heavy on the site. So
So I might give it a try on the next website I set up, see how I go.
Yeah, so maybe I could just do a topic. I could talk about those in my next topic. I might do that. Good idea.
Good. Thanks very much.
No worries.
See you next time.
Definitely. Take care. Thanks for jumping on. See you. Bye.